Morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Spring Cleaning Your Health. I did, believe it or not, I did spend about 30 minutes this morning just reading and in meditation and in thought and listening for the inspiration for today, because that's how I roll. That's how I roll. So we may have some people joining on, but I'm going to go ahead and record and share this on my YouTube channel and then on Facebook for those that don't catch it live that I know want to work through this. So what I encourage you to do, have your drinks ready. That's my coffee, and I've got a bottle of water ready to go. Have a journal or a notebook. Oh, helps if I put it right side up. A journal or a notebook, and then your planner. And what I hope we accomplish this morning is to take some time. So when we spring clean, we generally go through our stuff and reorganize. We sort, right? Keep, throw away, yard sale, give away. So what we're going to look at this morning is, what do I actually want in terms of physical, how I feel physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? What do I want? And then we're going to get honest with ourselves. All right, what have I been doing? So this is the sort. This is the keep and toss, right? Now, in terms of tossing, if it were only that easy when it comes to patterns and habits, if it were only that easy to go, done with you, but it's not. So what we're going to look at is a swap. All right, I haven't been eating well. So no more buying snacks. We're going to buy whole food. I need to research some recipes for AIP or for Food Mop or for gluten-free or whatever the case may be in your situation. So this is kind of how it's going to work, just to give you that heads up. So for those of you with autoimmunes, this absolutely applies. For those of you without, this still applies. All right, are you ready to take the deep dive? Let's go ahead and just pause for a moment. Place your hands on your heart, close your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths and drop from your mind, because your mind's going to go all over the place. And let's just drop into our bodies. And let's commit to being brutally honest with ourselves this morning, because the only way we can make changes in our lives is when we get brutally honest, tell ourselves the truth around what we've really been doing, and take responsibility for our choices. That's where the transformation takes place. So just commit to yourself that you're willing to be open and brutally honest and love yourself through this process. Be kind to yourself through this process. No guilt, no shame, just an objective, like, all right, yeah, I've been doing stuff to not treat myself so well. Time to treat myself well. Sweet. So let's just start by taking a look at the physical. And you can just open up a page. I mean, you can organize however you want, but I'd like you to take a look at the physical. So you can just write physical health or physical well-being at the top of your page. And we'll start with nutrition. We'll start with food. Now, what I'd like you to do is be brutally, brutally honest with yourself about listing everything you've eaten for the last 3 days. And this isn't about shaming ourselves or making ourselves feel guilty for having a piece of chocolate, for heaven's sakes. But our brains will justify our behavior and say, yeah, but you deserve, it's been a tough week. You da 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 da. But we start telling ourselves those things every day. And we get in a loop of excuses rather than, well, is this really what my body needs? Or is this really supporting my well-being and the goals that I want? Is this really supporting how I want to feel? And if it's not, then we need to change it. So what I'd like you to do is, I already said it, but I'm just going to repeat it. Take Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. I don't care if you work forward or backwards, doesn't matter to me, but just think through everything you've put in your body and just write it on that list. Just write it down. Everything you've eaten, everything you drank and consumed. And don't leave anything out. And you might not remember everything accurately. It's okay. You kind of go through the days, sometimes zombie-like and unaware. But if you had a mocha latte, put it down. If you had sodas, put them down. If you had chips, put it down. If you had a salad, put it down. If you had a steak, put it down. Which, by the way, I'm okay. I'm a beef eater, but I get the really good grass-fed stuff full of omegas. And I know which blade of grass they eat. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and keep writing. Now, as you've made that list, does it align with where you want to be and how you want to feel physically? So when you look at it, do you feel guilty? When you look at it, do you notice like, oh, I snack more than I realized? Or did it give you oh, or maybe you're doing better than you thought? So when you look at that, is there a change that you want and or need to make in order for your body to feel good? Nutrition is always going to be the base of our health, always. That will never change. So what we're putting in our bodies is really, really important to maintain energy through the day. And I'm a firm believer that the way we appear on the outside has everything to do with what's going on inside of our bodies and what is unseen. Health is not aesthetic. So what needs to change? Do you need more fruits and vegetables? Do you need to swap your snacks? Do you need to pre-plan? And I want you to make that note with a star next to it. What I need to change. And here it is. Or want to change. Need sometimes makes it desperate. Want is a desire, and that can change the energy behind it. And this is just getting really honest with ourselves. It's like when we look at a budget, we look at our finances, and we look at what's coming in and what's going out, and we realize that we probably could live within our means. This is that same kind of thing. I just want it to be objective. It doesn't need to be a judgmental thing, but I want you to notice what that sparks inside of you. So let's move on to how you're moving, to movement. Exercise. Now, we'll do the same thing, but look at a week. How do you move your body throughout the week? Do you walk? Do you hike? Do you bike around town? Do you walk to take your errands around? Do you do yoga? Do you dance and do groove? Do you ballroom dance? Which I know that's been a tough thing to do this year, but what do you do for physical activity? Is your work physically demanding? Now, here's one thing I really want to be crystal clear on. We have been taught go hard or go home, harder is better. You've got to be a beast. You've got to do these things to get this body. There's a difference between creating aesthetic and creating longevity and health. And hit it hard is not always better. So the hit it hard stuff, for those of us with autoimmunes, we don't dump the lactic acid like a normal human, like a normal body, so to speak. Our bodies are already working very hard to stay healthy and to stay in balance. And when we start to do hit it hard workouts or lift really hard, we're tearing down our bodies. And so then our body has to work that much harder to repair. And so we can't do those things that I was taught as a personal trainer and a fitness person. That does not apply to us with autoimmunes. We need more yoga. We need more walking, swimming. Dancing is fine, but we need less intense, moderate activity, because our outcome needs to be health, not aesthetic. Now, I know people who bodybuild and I know people who do those things. Awesome. They're not dealing with an autoimmune. So if this is your goal, I'm not dissing that, but there is a big difference between creating that aesthetic and creating moving so that your body can continue to move for longevity without breaking down your joints, without breaking down your bones, without going into osteoporosis and osteopenia. And so we have to do things a little bit differently. So, where are you? And are there changes that you need to make? Sometimes it's not that we need to move more. Sometimes it's that we need to move less. If we're in the throes of a flare-up, light stretching, a little bit of walking is enough. We don't need to be 3 to 5 days a week and blah, 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 blah. It might be gardening. It might be doing yard work. And that's enough. So just take an honest look at where you are and what you need to be doing for the next little bit to support your body where it is right now. Like I realized a couple months ago, I need to be doing yoga regularly. I quit teaching for personal reasons, but my body needs it. And I'm more apt to do it if I'm teaching. So Sunday nights it is. But my joints feel so much better and my pelvis stays more stable when I'm doing yoga regularly. So I need to get back to it. So that's my commitment to myself. That might help you think through maybe a swap that you need to do. So let's move on to sleep. How is your sleep? Is it regular? Are you waking up rested? Do you wake up in the middle of the night and have a hard time falling back to sleep? Do you have aches and pains that keep you up? Do you have some nights you feel great, some nights you don't, and some nights you crash and burn, and some nights you're tossing and turning? Like, is it regular? Is it not? Now, if it's not, what do you need to change? We've had a year of craziness, and that can disrupt us here, which can impact our sleep or our rest. So do you need to take some supplements? Do you need some essential oils that might help you calm down? Do you need to turn off your phone an hour before bedtime and create a bedtime routine? Would it be helpful to take a hot bath so that you can get into a relaxed state? Would it be helpful to stretch or do some yin yoga? Would it be helpful to do some breath work? Would it be helpful to journal? Would it be helpful to do meditation? What might be helpful for you to get better rest if you need that? Now, I'm asleep at 10. I'm up between 6 and 6:30. Clockwork. I don't need an alarm. What does that for me? My supplements, my nutrition. I have a routine. And when I'm tired, I don't fight it. It's bedtime. I'm done. If I worked really hard in the yard and it just, that really good, satisfying kind of work and I'm tired, I'll crash a little earlier. It's all good. Because for me, going to bed, that I get to rest now feels so stinking good. I love that time of day. And if you need naps, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually really beneficial for our health too. So what change might you need to take in order to get more rest or to feel more rested when you wake up? So that's physical. We've looked at how we move, how we eat, how we sleep. All those things impact our overall health. Tons of research on all of those topics, and you can Google about any of those and find plenty of research to say you need sleep, you need to move your body, you need solid nutrition, lots of fruits and vegetables. All right. Let's move on to mental. So go ahead and flip your page or start a new page and put mental at the top. Mental health, mental well-being. Now I'm going to differentiate mental and emotional right now. So mental has to do with our thoughts and how we feel overall, so that we might have anxiety, and the root of anxiety is often that we're worried about the future and or stuck in the past. Anxiety and depression go hand in hand. They're generally not an either or, they're usually tied together because we're not in the present. So that's our thoughts. Now, if you consider the chatter, what kind of chatter do you instantly get? Do you have judgmental thoughts? Do you have critical thoughts? I don't mean critical thinking where we're examining and looking at a lot of angles. I mean critical, where we're criticizing ourselves, someone else. We're always, constantly trying to tear something or someone down. Are you around negative people? Does your brain go, no, 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 instead of, that might be interesting? In other words, do your thoughts always go, are you chasing after your thoughts, and or are your thoughts negative? Because all of this is churning in your gut. Your brain and your gut are directly linked through something called your vagus nerve. They work hand in hand. So your gut picks up a signal, your brain goes, oh, chemical change, readjust, reset. Dopamine and serotonin reside in your gut just as much as they do in your brain. If it's off in your gut, it's off in your brain. If it's off in your brain, it's off in your gut. Now, our thoughts will also drive that churning in our belly. And it'll take us into fight, flight, or freeze. Often freeze. Or we have to just do a lot of things out of nervous energy. But we don't really accomplish much. So if that's you, it's time to just say, all right, I do have a lot of mental chatter, and it is impacting my health and well-being. There is a solution. Meditation. So let's just practice that for a moment. Go ahead and close your eyes. And we're only going to go about a minute or two. We're not going to go that long, but just close your eyes. Start to notice your breath. Is it really shallow? Because if it's shallow, that is telling you that you're in fight or flight. If you can take your breath down into your belly, you can calm your nervous system down. So just start to notice your breath. Start to let your diaphragm expand with each inhale and exhale. Start to let your shoulders drop as you breathe. Now, if your mind starts to chatter, starts to take you onto who knows what ride, what magic carpet ride, just start to bring your attention back to, you just respond back like, that's interesting. And then come back to presence in your body. And we do that through breathing. What does it feel like to breathe? What does it feel like for my heart to beat? But take your attention to one of those two places. That's it. And notice if you might be holding tension somewhere in your body. And if you are, separate your jaw, relax your teeth, relax your shoulders, and just let your body start to relax. Feels so good to experience my body. Feels so good to just be in this vessel and feel fully alive. This is feeling fully alive. So go ahead and take another breath in and out, and then gently open your eyes. How does that feel? Now, those couple of minutes that we did, doing that regularly will change this, because your thoughts start to learn that you are not going to react every time a thought comes up. And you start to discern what you can let go and what actually needs your attention. Because very few thoughts need your time, attention, and energy. Very few. So if you're feeling exhausted, it might be because you're chasing after every single thought and trying to keep up. You have tens of thousands of thoughts a day. How in the world can we keep up with them? We can't. Now, daydreaming, it's totally fine. Totally fine. Reminiscing, totally fine. Those feel good, right? But then we have to come back into the present. And that's where we get to live right now, live in all of it. So if your mental well-being needs a check, needs some help, practicing presence is coming up. And if you sign up by Sunday night, you get a bonus 30-minute with me. If you sign up with a friend, you both sign up by tomorrow night, you both get that bonus, and you're going to get a wellness package. Dancing in the Fire of Life, a mind-body connection PDF, so that you know how emotions, which is going to be our next level, impact pain in our bodies. And you're going to get all of my meditations that I've pre-recorded. I've got about a dozen of them now. So you're going to get a really great package. So if that's of interest to you, reach out. All right, so let's add emotional well-being. So the mental is clearing the clutter of the thoughts. Do you have monkey mind? And if you do, that might be a place that needs some attention so that you're more present in your body. And the answer to that is a meditation practice. So where are you in a meditation practice? That's the question with that one. Emotional. Our emotions, is it? I'm not going to admit this person. They can wait. It's a name I don't remember. Anyway, all right, moving on. Emotional. If you're an emotional stuffer, if you are not letting emotion, which is energy in motion, move through your body, move out, you can have different signs or signals in your body that eventually become pain. So if you have a mysterious pain that chiropractic care isn't taking care of, acupuncture, massage isn't moving it, it might be that you're holding some emotion from somewhere in your life, because our tissues have muscle memory. And they will hold on until we move that emotion out. It's just the way it is. So as an example, a broken heart is real. If you're dealing with grief, your heart really maybe hurts. You've maybe experienced bronchitis or other lung issues, breathing issues, colds, flus, respiratory things, because heart and lungs tie together. And grief resides there. So does joy. Opening up our heart comes from joy. Feeling alive comes through joy. It's not happiness, it's joy. Hands. Are you trying to control or hold on too tightly? Surrender and let it go. Neck and shoulders. That can come from the computer, but it also comes from carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders or protecting our heart. Might be a little bit of both. Now, I'll share a little something with you. I had an aha yesterday because I've observed that when I'm working remotely in Craig, my energy is great through the day. When I work in my physical office for my 9-to-5 job, I pay the bills job, I am sapped. I'm uninspired. I'm unmotivated. I am drained. And by lunchtime, I just want to curl up and take a nap. I had someone point out that my heart's not in it. And it's true. I'm one foot out the door. I'm ready to move on. So there's this tension in my neck and shoulders. There's this kind of a, I don't know about sadness, but there's a in my heart, literally. My heart's not full of joy when I'm there. On the flip side, I recorded Groove the other night. I recorded one of our songs. And one of my friends said, I love seeing how full of life and joy that you are when you're teaching, when you're dancing. And I was like, yeah, that's my happy place. Night and day difference. So what do I need to be doing more of? That's the solution. But there's a very tangible, concrete example of emotion and how that impacts our energy. Now, if you are an emotional stuffer, you might hold that in your gut. That's where I hold it. I've had to learn to express my feelings. I've had to learn how to say to people, that doesn't make me feel very good. I'm stressed out right now. I'm afraid. This hurt me. I've had to learn to use my voice instead of letting it spin in my belly. If you have constipation or diarrhea issues, it might be emotional. If you have hip issues, it's about feeling stuck and not moving forward in life. So what changes do you need to make? So that's how our emotions work. So let's do another little activity. And I'd like you to just close your eyes again. And this time I want you to drop right into your heart space. Notice that little warm energy, that little warmness around your heart. Now your heart knows emotion. I don't have to explain this to you. You already know what these things feel like. You just maybe became disconnected from how different subtle emotions feel in your body and where. And this is something that we can practice and work on over time to gain emotional intelligence. But for right now, I want you to just consider some different things in your life and where you might be feeling, where you might have some worry, or you might have some stress, or you might have frustration, or you might have concerns, or you might So just notice and observe where you feel these things in your body, where you tend to hold that tension. Now you know where it is and you understand what that feels like. So now I'd like you to come back to your heart space and envision things that bring you joy, things that make you feel good, things that light you up. Maybe it's your cup of coffee in the morning. Maybe it's curling up with your pet. Maybe it's sitting outside in the sun. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's dancing or moving your body in a certain way. Maybe it's laughing and those people that make you laugh. Maybe it's allowing yourself to play. Maybe it's your hobbies. But just sit in that feeling of joy for a little bit. Just let that kind of flood throughout the cells of your body. And then take another breath in and out. And what are those things? So we're going to make 2 columns. Things that give you tension, bring you down, and make that list. Because now you're aware. Once we create awareness, then we can change things. That's always the first step, is we have to become aware and acknowledge, like, ooh, when I'm around this person, I don't feel so good. When I'm in this environment, I don't feel so good. I'm giving more of my time and energy to this, and it's draining me rather than to these things that give me energy, that make me feel good, make me feel satisfied. I guarantee you, most people, at least in the States, have very little satisfaction in their work life, and it's impacting their health. Think about that. How many people do you know that gripe about their jobs? And I don't believe that that's what life is supposed to be. That's why we call it groove in your life in the groove world. So once you have that side done, those things that give you tension and sap your joy, now I want you to list those things that lit you up. They may be very little, because a lot of times it's those little things throughout the day. For me, it's going over and visiting with Macy at our little coffee shop next door to where I work. It's one of those things that lights me up every day. I enjoy going over there. I enjoy being among those people and just talking life, talking weather, talking stuff. You know how it is, but it's my place. I love being on the dance floor. That's why I don't give up groove classes. They light me up more so than yoga. Maybe for you, it's just a hobby, maybe it's something you've wanted to do, like try making jewelry or try watercolor or just sing, or I don't know. But what are those things that give you joy? Now, as you look at that list of those things that give you joy, put stars next to those things that you can do more of. Or at least in your day when you're like, yeah, that gives me joy in the day, you can start to become present and really savor it and have this bit of gratitude during that time. So for me, when it's snuggling on the couch with Benji, like my head will go, oh, but you need to go do work. You need to go work on your coaching business. And I will give myself that 10 minutes of just being with him because he deserves it. I've been gone all day and I need that time too. So I'm just throwing some examples at you. But star those things and give yourself permission to savor them and to do more of them. Those are those little pleasures in life that add up to be the big things. I don't know what that ping was. All right, the last thing is spiritual well-being. Now, this isn't just about religious practices. We might do practices to help us get in the state of communion with God. So we might have some rituals, like I like to light a candle. I like to journal. I like to pray through journaling. I like to highlight scripture, or I like to share things that really kind of helped me in my morning thoughts. I have a little time at the start of my day. And you might have that too. You might have some kind of a routine or practice. And maybe you've been feeling really dry spiritually. Maybe you're seeking. Maybe you're asking questions. Maybe you are feeling fulfilled and overflowing. I don't know. But for me, what that spiritual practice is what am I doing to spend time with God and to become more like God? I am not a God, but to have the characteristics of God and to share that with other people, to have the characteristics of Christ for me as a Christian. What am I doing? Now, to give you an example, I know where I feel the most connected is in nature. So I like to pause. I like to catch the sunset as often as possible. And I like to check out the stars. Those are reminders for me. And I like to just take that breath in and just go, oh, thank you, God, for that unique painting. Thank you, God, for reminding me that there is so much. This is a vast, vast universe. And I'm so small in the midst of it, but not insignificant. I've been spending a lot of time reading in the mornings. And I don't have it next to me, but I'm reading a book right now that's called Beautiful Outlaw. And it's about the personality of Christ. Now, those are things that help me to grow. And I have tools that I'm using. You don't have to have anything. So what is it that you need to grow in your spiritual life? Is it that you need to carve some time for prayer and listening time? See, that's meditation for me, is opening up to listen. Do you need to look for God moments every day, little miracles throughout the day to help you be reminded of God's presence? Do you need to turn off the news and realize that that is nothing of what God intends for our life and get out and live? Do you need to find some volunteer things where you can serve other people and use your God-given gifts and talents? What is it? Do you need to go to church? Do you need to find a different church? There are so many online that there's no excuse anymore. If you need to hear an uplifting, encouraging message every week, there are several. I mean, I can point you to some people if you need some guidance. Just reach out. I can point you to some things that I really like. There's a church in Grand Island I really like to catch on Sunday mornings. There's 15 minutes with God, or Give Him 15. That's a daily devotional, 15 minutes every morning while I'm getting ready. There's so many tools out there. And if you just need a place to start, let me know. I can put you in some directions that have been really helpful for me. So it's, what habits have you gotten into or have you slacked from, and what do you need to do? My nose is itchy this morning. It tickles. Sorry. If I sneeze, excuse me. Awesome. So now, this isn't about how do I change all of these things? You are not going to be successful. What one area right now, if you started to make it a daily practice so that it just became a part of your day, you no longer had to try. What if you committed the rest of the spring into the summer? So the rest of April, May, June, July, maybe August, 4 or 5 months, committed 4 months to this. Give yourself through summer. I guarantee by that point, it's just going to be a part of what you do. You won't even have to think about it anymore. And it will infuse you and become a piece of who you are. So if you think about at the end of summer, what one of these areas of your life do you want to be better in? Where do you want to grow right now? Where do you want to water? The seeds have already been planted, but what do you want to intentionally water so that it can grow and thrive? And by fall, it's fully blossomed. What's the one thing that would help you the most? Do you need to really give your physical body some attention? Do you need to manage stress and your thought life better? Do you need some help with practicing that? Do you need help with emotional intelligence and moving those emotions through? Do you need help in the spiritual aspect of your life? So choose the one. And now in your journal, make yourself a promise. Because the greatest betrayal that we give is the one to ourselves. So I want you to write a vow to yourself. Holly, on April 24th, 2021, I promise to take good care of you by creating a daily practice of, this is my loving way of caring for myself. This is my way of being better for myself and for the people around me. Isn't that ultimately what we want? We want to be better. We want to be better. And it's not just for us. It's because we know that when we're better, we have something better to offer to the people we love the most. So what is that one practice that if you committed to that for the next 4 months, it will help you? Now, think about how you're going to do that. I will do this by committing my first 15 minutes every day to a meditation, by creating creating a bedtime routine, by changing my nutrition so that I feel better and move better and am better and have more energy. By what is it? What is it that you promise to do? And how are you going to give yourself time and attention every day? So you might need to look at your planner and see what needs to come off the plate. What are you currently doing or not doing? What are you currently doing that you can remove? So that you can plant this in. Now, where is that time, that consistent time, going to be every day or every week? Is Sunday going to be meal planning and grocery shopping? Or maybe it's Saturday or Friday, it doesn't matter. But is there one day a week that you're going to commit to that? Is there 15 minutes every morning that you're going to commit to some spiritual growth? Now think about this. 15 minutes every day. That's almost 2 hours of time every week. So if you think, that's not going to make that big of a deal, yes, it will. That's 2 hours every week toward your own personal growth and development. That will make significant changes, especially by the end of the year. That will make significant changes. Now, if you need help with accountability, I don't really know the tools to use here. I don't really know what to do, or there's a gap, whether that's in knowledge, whether that's in mindset, whether that's in just accountability and follow through. That's where coaching comes in. And that's where I can be of support. So if practicing presence is something that you needed you're like, that's what I need, then let's make that happen. I talked about that a little bit ago. So practicing presence is a meditation, 6-week long meditation experience and practice. It's $197 for time with me. So you're going to get weekly coaching, a weekly Zoom. You're going to get my meditations. You're going to get daily homework and journaling prompts. If you need the journaling prompts, you can use what you want. Some of you may enjoy journaling, some of you may not, and that's okay. But you're going to get a weekly, like Monday, here's what you do. Tuesday, here's what you do. Wednesday, here's what you do. You're just going to get it 1 week at a time, dripped to you through email. And then in between, you're going to get lots of support. So when you get stuck, you have me through Messenger on Facebook and text. So you have that support through those two options. Now, if you sign up by Sunday night, April 25th, by 10 p.m., you also get a 30-minute session with me. That's your bonus. If you get a friend to join, you're going to get a few other bonuses. So that's practicing presence. If that's what you need right now, then let's get you on board. If you're like, that's not really what I need the physical support, I need some accountability, then reach out and let's get on a 30-minute consult so that we can see what it is that you actually need. And if I can be of help there, or if there's someone else that I know that could be of better help. Because it's about getting you to the right person. I have a lot of tools in my tool belt. I'm happy to share those. And if I can be of help, I'm happy to be. If that's not quite my zone, I'll point you in the direction of someone. Because ultimately, it's about making you healthy. It's about helping you get the tools that you need. So please reach out with whatever help you have, with whatever questions you have that we didn't get, that you needed throughout this. And let's get you the help that you need. I did not get here by doing these things by myself. I got here because I had an awful lot of great people in the last 25 years that helped me to have the tools and the knowledge that I needed, that pushed me when I needed some encouragement, that helped me change my thinking, into starting to believe in myself. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't come from these big fancy schmancy things. It comes from little daily practices. That's it. It just comes from little daily habits. And those end up being the big things. Hey, thanks for joining. I know those of you who are joining are catching the replay, but thank you for taking the time. Thanks for taking this hour to allow me to maybe help you. And I'd love to know what ahas you got. So please share them. Please, please, please share them. Have a fabulous day. You are worth your time and attention. And the only way we're going to change health and change our lives is by taking responsibility. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining.